time to take you through this week in Nicholls Athletics as we bring you the best of Colonel sports from Nicholls State University. This week in Nicholls Athletics is presented by State Farm Insurance. Contact your local State Farm agent today and get to a better state with State Farm Insurance. Hello and welcome to the debut of This Week in Nicholls Athletics, presented by State Farm Insurance. I'm Mike Wagenheim. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get right into it. College hoop season is here, and in just an hour and a half, the Nicholls men's basketball team tips off their season. Julie Bodwan tells us what we can expect from the Colonel Cagers this year.
The Nicholls State men's basketball team is entering the 2011-2012 season with the hopes of reaching the Southland Conference tournament for a school record fourth consecutive time. Head coach J.P. Piper has been successful over the last 3 seasons, but this year he will have to do it without some key players. The Colonel said goodbye to last year's Louisiana Basketball Player of the Year, Anatoly Bose, who finished 9th in the nation in scoring. Piper will also be without guard Fred Hunter, who will redshirt this season while recovering from a knee injury. Piper knows his program has some rebuilding to do, and he is counting on a strong effort from his younger players.
We have to establish a new identity. The past few years we've had holdover players from year to year that kind of bridged one season to the next, and we knew we had a proven commodity. This year we're really unproven, so we need to develop an identity on both ends, defensively and offensively, and then work to be consistent. And if we can get that, I think we have enough talent to squeak our way back into the tournament and maybe surprise a few people.
Guard Ben Martin is the only senior on the floor this year and one of the few players who understand Piper's tactics. He'll be looked upon for leadership this season.
A lot of guys do look at me, for example. I don't really feel the pressure because we got such a tight-knit group here. So they definitely look at me for an example, but I don't feel the overwhelming pressure of being a leader. But I am trying to lead on the team.
Martin may not feel the pressure from his teammates, as he knows that Piper is ultimately the team leader.
I read a lot about not only basketball leadership, but leadership in business and what successful people do to lead their organizations, whether that's football, basketball, baseball, or in business and industry. And you find that most successful leaders have an element of motivation. You've got to inspire those people that you're leading to want to achieve your vision. You know, our vision is success on the court, and so talking to those guys about why that's important, I think, helps lead them to the same vision we have for success. So there's a lot of that. I think you can overdo it with that stuff. I don't want to be pie in the sky and fairy tale dreams, but you do have to have a dream, and dreaming about the NCAA tournament, dreaming about going undefeated at home. Those are realistic things, and I need to inspire those guys to try to achieve those things.
He's a great motivator. He can get you to do things that you didn't think you were capable of. I mean, I've never been pushed harder than I have been in the 5 months or 6 months that I've been here. So, I mean, he's a great motivator. He's a great leader. You don't want to let him down, and you don't want to. He teaches you to not want to let down your team as well. So, I mean, you do anything for him, and we all do.
While McBeath understands the importance of Coach Piper's leadership skills, Ben Martin believes gelling as a team is vital.
Just trying to get the young guys to understand our team, just the way we want our team to be run on the court, just to just become more of a team, like know where everybody's at and stuff, because last year we were a very veteran group of guys, so we kind of knew where each other was going to be. We're just trying to explore and figure out each other's tendencies and whatnot, so where they're going to be on the court, so we can become a better team.
Assistant coach Rennie Bailey knows this season will provide many teachable moments for the coaching staff, and that patience will be a virtue.
It's an everyday process. I mean, when you're working with youth, I mean, they're going to make mistakes. They're going to not know what's going on at times, and you may have covered it 2 or 3 times. It's just an adjustment that you understand going into it. When you have inexperienced guys, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to do some good things. You're going to play well, maybe for 20 minutes and not so well for the next 20. You just come to expect that when you're playing with inexperienced guys.
While the team has much work to do, they have already forged a strong bond off the court. Returning players like Brian Hammond, Dantrell Thomas, and Jeremy Smith have provided a good base of knowledge for the newcomers.
The team's best quality, I think, is togetherness. We're really close, and I think that helps defensively and learning. I mean, we're really good at learning because everyone's trying to get. We've got Ben and Brian and DT, even Jeremy, guys like that, older guys who are really. I mean, they'll listen to you. They're not just going to be leaders who will just tell you something. They're not tyrants. They'll listen and help. So I think one of our best qualities is that we're together as a team. We're friends off the court, and we all get along really well.
While McBeath will try to fill the void left by Anatoly Bose, Martin believes Bose's departure can open the door for other players.
Last year, if you were doing a scouting report on us, especially towards the end without Fred, it was just like stop Anatoly, keep him under 20 points, and you'll beat Nicholls State. This year, we're looking for more balance. Maybe 4 or 5 guys in double figures. DT with maybe 17, me and Sam 12 to 15 range. And with that, I think it's going to be hard to stop us because you don't know where the scoring's going to come from. So I think now this team may be better than last year's team.
Piper knows that it usually takes a veteran team to challenge for the Southland Championship. This year will be about balance, laying down a new foundation, and hopefully surprising a few people.
Studying it over the last 8 years, experienced teams, you need to have a lot of juniors and seniors, and you usually don't break through your first try. So we've become a regular at the conference tournament. If we can continue to be regulars there and then grow this group up, I think as they become sophomores, juniors, seniors, that we should have an expectation to compete for a championship and go to the NCAA tournament.
For Martin, who left the program after his freshman year, only to be given a second opportunity with the team, this season serves as his final chance to leave his mark on Nicholls basketball.
Well, it's been a rough road for me to see where I was, 2 years ago and where I am now. I think I accomplished a lot, but just making it to the 4th straight conference tournament would be a huge goal for me leaving here. I just want to let people remember me about when they think of Nicholls basketball this year. I hope they think of Ben Martin, local kid. That'll be a huge accomplishment for me.
Nicholls opens up the season today at LSU with non-conference matches slated against Auburn, Texas, and preseason number 1 North Carolina. For This Week in Nicholls Athletics, I'm Julie Baudouin.
We were able to catch a sneak peek at the Nicholls men's basketball team this past week as the Colonels played host to Mobile in an exhibition game at Stouffer Gym here on campus. Let's take a look at those highlights. Colonel 4 early before Shane Rillier, a freshman from New Orleans, accelerated by the Rams' Spencer Duke for the first 2 of his dozen points on the night. Mobile up 10-5, under 16 left in the half. It's Rillier again, getting Marcus Paulette off balance on the penetration move. Another freshman contributed to the cause. Trevon Lewis out of Ellender High School in Houma. The feed from Ben Martin. Lewis finishes and gets a foul. Colonel still trying to catch Mobile, and here's Martin finding Sam McBeath, stroking the 3 from the wing to pull Nicholls even at 12 with 13 minutes left in the half. Pedro Maciel off the bench provided his lone hoop of the night right here from way outside. Nicholls out in front by 2. 7 lead changes in the first half of this one. Under 5 minutes to go in the opening 20, Colonels work the ball to Lewis in the post. Lewis with 18 points and 5 boards in only 22 minutes. But Mobile's Christian Salinas with a 3 to end the half. Rams with a 37-36 advantage at the break. Early second half, the Rams pad their lead. Kevin Calloway spots All-American Jai Kimbrough for the 3. Mobile up by 7 with under 16 minutes left. Now it's a Colonel's turn to make a run. Sophomore Dantrell Thomas hits the baby jumper here to bring Nicholls within 3. And then Thomas hustles back and collects one of 11 steals for Nicholls on the night. The Colonels force 21 turnovers. Here's Rillier coming up with a pull-up J, and Nicholls down 50-49 with less than 14 minutes to go. Coming up here, Paulette loses the handle. Great effort by Lewis to pounce on it. And Maciel up ahead to sophomore Chris Talkington, who registered 17 points off the bench. The Colonels are up a deuce at the 13-minute mark. It's Maciel to Talkington again. The 6'6" Sea-Talk hit 37% from downtown last year. Colonels up by 4 midway through the second half. Ben Martin with the pump fake. The drive and the kick to Reilly. Nicholls hit 7 threes in the game. It took them less than 8 minutes to go from down 7 to up 7. And here's the follow-up. From Talkington off the missed free throw, Colonel's a winner, 73-69 in the exhibition contest. Coming up next on This Week in Nicholls Athletics, presented by State Farm Insurance, it's on to the gridiron as we check in with the Colonel's football team. We'll be right back.
There goes Dwayne's car. There goes Dwayne's house. And there goes Dwayne.
Man, that thing does not like Dwayne.
State Farm's got you covered.
In Lockport, call Ashley Barrios. And in Houma, call Travis Gravois.
Get to a better state.
We're back with you on the premiere of This Week in Nicholls Athletics, presented by State Farm Insurance. Glad to have you with us. The Colonels wrap up the home portion of their football slate this evening at Guidry Stadium. Kickoff is set for 5:30 on Senior Day as Nicholls plays host to Lamar. This Colonel team has been beset by injuries. They've lost 9 starters this season. The team, already young to begin with, 75 of the players on the roster are freshmen or sophomores. To their credit, head coach Charlie Stubbs has kept this team playing hard each time out, and they nearly picked off the Cowboys of McNeese State in Lake Charles last Saturday. Let's take a look at the highlights from that game. He finds Jordan Hanberry for a 9-yard pickup. It led to an Andrew Dolan field goal to pull Nicholls within 4. Late first quarter, Caston spots Joshua Warren. First down, Colonels, one of 2 catches on the day here for Warren. LeQuinton getting it done on the ground, too, leading a 13-play, 83-yard drive capped off by a 1-yard scamper to put Nicholls ahead 10-7 early in the first quarter. Now, defense really came up big in the first 30 minutes as well. Here's a touchdown run here for LeQuinton Caston. The defense coming up big in the opening half of play. Big hit here from Bobby Felder, knocking out Josh Jordan as he lost the ball there. Colonels here with LeQuinton Caston on the ground, running it left. Nicholls able to make a gain of this one. Cody Stroud back to pass here for McNeese. And he gets hit by Rashard Knight, one of 3 forced fumbles here for the Colonels. The ball comes loose there. Cowboys fall on it, but they wouldn't get so lucky here. Jordan Hanberry strips Deontay Spencer and pounces on it. The Colonels leading 10-7 at the half. Unfortunately, McNeese found a forced a 3 and out to begin the second half, and it took over from that point, running off 17 unanswered points for a 24-10 lead. Colonels moved the ball late. Saw Marcus Washington a moment ago, and then Caston finding true freshman Darrell Watson for his first career reception. Under 10 minutes left in the game, Caston keeps Nicholls in it on a 4th down conversion, then delivers a scoring strike to freshman Damon Bolt to make it a 7-point deficit here. But that's as close as the Colonels would come as they fall to the Cowboys, 26-17 in the end. Again, they'll have Lamar coming up tonight. Well, one of the men who has had to deal with the sting of the injury bug this year is Keith Uperesa. The offensive line coach has lost 3 starters and has played as many as 3 freshmen up front at the same time this year. Uperesa, though, seems like the perfect man to handle such adversity. Our own Angela Boudreau has more.
It has been a long journey for Keith Uperesa in so many ways. Now in his 2nd year with the Nicholls coaching staff, Hawaiian-born Uperesa, more than most, has experienced the highs and lows of life, both on and off the football field.
Uperesa emerged as a 3-sport star at Punahou High School. While hoops was his passion, football turned out to be his calling.
The career in football was probably an easy choice. Body-wise, I just grew into that. Basketball was always my first love. But knowing that at that stage of my life, I wouldn't probably have a great career at the college level. Didn't really think about playing NFL. It just happens. Had an opportunity to get off the island, get a scholarship to Brigham Young University as a football player. And that kind of got me started.
Uperesa found a second home at BYU and helped make an immediate impact as a true freshman. He eventually reached his destination in the National Football League, playing a year with Oakland and another 2 in Denver. Those NFL credentials make his players take note.
All of our life, we're all going through life. We want to make it to the next level. He's proof that you can make it, and that just makes better of a success story for us to try to follow. It proves that you can make it through the everyday struggle, and there's not one thing that can really just hold you down, not to just stop and not give up anyway.
Uperesa's time on the biggest stage was short-lived, as a knee injury ended his career. After pursuing work in the private sector, Uperesa received a surprise call from 2 legendary BYU coaches, Lavelle Edwards and Norm Chow.
They kind of stayed on me. I had about a semester left of school to finish, and of course a priority at that time for them was to make sure that the young men have an opportunity to finish their education. So they gave me that option to come back and finish my bachelor's, which I did complete in the semester. And then at the time, Lavelle Edwards offered me an opportunity to get into the graduate assistantship. None whatsoever did I have an idea of getting into coaching. It was a way to pay for my school and as a graduate assistant coach. And then I guess the competitive spirit and the love of the sport just stayed with me.
While a career in coaching was initially an afterthought, it didn't remain that way for long. After earning 2 degrees from BYU, Uperesa has made his mark on the collegiate coaching world. On the heels of a successful head coaching stint at Snow College, Uperesa coordinated a nationally ranked passing attack at Idaho State and was on the sidelines for Southern Cal during their 2003 Orange Bowl win. It was then on to Utah, where Uperesa coached the offensive line and tight ends during the UT's historic undefeated 2004 season. At UNLV, Uperesa helped guide 6 all-conference players in 5 years.
What I enjoyed most about that is the young men that you're involved with at that level, because they are still hungry. And they're still out to prove something to themselves, that they're worthy enough to try to get that next level opportunity for themselves. And the amount of kids I saw over the course of 11 years at that level was very rewarding. I treasure my experience at USC. The Orange Bowl experience, playing on that level, on that stage, very exciting. But again, I still look back to the smaller venues, and a venue like this here at Nicholls. You got a lot of young men who are hungry, and they're out to prove a point that they are, that they have the ability to play this game. And that's what's rewarding in this field, is coaching for myself. It's to find a young man that's still in the stage of his mind that he's working to gain some worth for himself.
Uperesa's challenge this year has been enormous, as a devastating number of injuries have taken their toll on the offensive line. A large crop of freshmen and newcomers have stepped in and been anchored by senior P.O. Adams. Uperesa's heritage and knowledge of the family-oriented Polynesian culture have helped him recruit several players from the island.
We can connect a bit more beyond football. He can understand some of the things I'm saying. In the Polynesian culture, we're really family-oriented, and he makes me feel like home here, and gives me that family atmosphere, like I would at home.
My wife and I, and my daughter who's here right now, we fill the void of that family, that extended family that's not here for them. So we try to present as much as the island for them in and around our home as we can to make them feel comfortable, because coming off the island, a lot of them, again, are reared with the notion that they may have to leave the island 2,000 miles at least to the West Coast, if not 3,000 miles, 4,000 miles across the country to go to school. But that's where we fill in. And that's the cultural part of our, of our heritage.
While this year's turbulence on the offensive line has been difficult, Uperesa has sustained through harder things in life. In 2006, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. He fought the disease and won, only to be stricken with thyroid cancer in 2009. Cancer was a word that became familiar in his family. Uperesa's sister was also diagnosed with cancer in 2009. 8 years prior, they lost their mother. Uperesa says he is blessed to have great people around him, including his family. His daughter Napuka recently moved to THIBODAUX and enrolled at Nicholls to get her master's degree in psychology. She has learned amazing life lessons from her father.
The type of person that my dad is, he always just taught us, like, you face it head on and you deal with what you got and you make the best of the situation. And so that's kind of where we were at when he got that news. We just kind of took it face value. This is where we're at and we're going to do what we can. He always says, you know, battle in the trench, fight like hell. So that's where we were at.
Nicholls head coach Charlie Stubbs and Uperesa have a long history together. They were teammates at BYU and remained in contact throughout the years. Stubbs brought Uperesa on board not only for his knowledge of X's and O's, but because Stubbs believes Uperesa's life experience have made him a better coach and mentor.
I'm sure he sees things even better than I see it about the big picture. You know, I haven't ever had to go through anything like that, you know, but I'm sure it's been a tremendous wake-up call. I can entrust a whole lot in, you know, with him. I'm talking about, like, you know, I know as his coaching ability, coaching the offensive line, I don't have to look over his shoulder. You know, he's very capable and can get that taken care of. Also his leadership, if I'm ever away, that he can represent me well. You know, in a lot of the meetings that I might be, like if I'm out recruiting, he can handle those kind of things. And I know that he would make some decisions that would be very, you know, similar, you know what I mean, to what I would want done. So it's very refreshing that if I'm away, I know that the home base is getting taken care of.
As the Colonels football team build a foundation for success, it has in place a person like Keith Uperesa, a father figure, a spiritual leader, and a survivor who impacts everyone around him. For This Week in Nicholls Athletics, I'm Angela Boudreau.
When we return on This Week in Nicholls Athletics, presented by State Farm Insurance, the Colonels' new softball coach, Angel Santiago, stops by. Stay with us.
There goes Dwayne's car. There goes Dwayne's house. And there goes Dwayne.
Man, that thing does not like Dwayne.
State Farm's got you covered.
In Thibodaux, call Mike Bednards. And in Houma, call Mark Anderpont.
Get to a better state.
Welcome back to This Week in Nicholls Athletics. We're joined here by the new softball coach here at Nicholls State University, Angel Santiago. It's so good to have you here. We've heard a lot of good things. You come to us from Florida State, UNLV before that, and built successful programs there as an assistant. What have your first few weeks on campus been like?
Well, basically we've just put ourselves in a position where we just get to learn each other and know each other. And it's been absolutely excellent just seeing how, you know, just coming into a new team, the team just absolutely just put us in a situation where we talking. I just lost my train of thought.
Continue on.
But we're putting ourselves in a situation where we just ended up getting to know each other and just going through all the things that we need to do as a part of the program. Learning new techniques, new ideas, new terminology, etc. like that. It's been pretty neat.
Now, you got the Southland Conference Player of the Year coming back, Ashley Ray. In fact, in the infield, you've got 3 all-conference players coming back, so the cupboard certainly isn't bare.
No, Ashley Ray, we got Mandy Granger, and Megan Gaspard. All 3 of them absolutely excellent seniors to have. A lot of leadership, a lot of skills, a lot of opportunity for them to put themselves in front of the Colonel fans and do a good job.
What are you looking to do with the program in the short term?
Short term, well, I think the biggest thing that we had to do is just get to know each other. And now that we have each other all, known, basically, now we can put ourselves in a position where we're fighting in the long term. It all sets us up for the next things that we need, which is do what we know, and go out there and play the game with some passion and fire. Now we're in a situation where I want that conference championship.
What secrets for success that you were able to have it at FSU and at UNLV, what do you bring here to Nicholls?
I think the biggest thing is trial and error. I think I've seen the things that I know don't work, and I think I am now in a situation where I can put things and translate things to the girls that I want done. And it's been absolutely excellent because, I love to watch them work, and I love to see them have an idea that I had in the past and apply it and give them the opportunity. And it's just been absolutely unbelievable just to see them take an idea and then make it grow.
You've had a few weeks with them now. The season will begin in February. What do you do between now and then?
Well, all we've been doing right now is we switched over from 20-hour weeks to the 8-hour weeks. So we're probably working 3 days a week, and we're just basically just getting more one-on-one attention to their game and just working the bugs out. That's basically it.
Well, Coach, you've had success everywhere you've been. We don't expect this to be any different. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Angel Santiago, the head coach, new softball coach here at Nicholls. He's going to do a great job with us. That's going to do it for the debut of This Week in Nicholls Athletics, presented by State Farm Insurance. We want to thank you so much for joining us. We'll be here each and every week, Saturday, 10:30 a.m. on Cox Sports Television. And you can also get more information by logging on to our official website, www.geaux. It's GoColonels.com. That is our official website. You can check it out for the latest information, everything you need to follow all of the Nicholls Athletics team. For our entire crew, including Angela Boudreau and Julie Baudouin and the coach, Angel Santiago, I'm Mike Wagenheim. We'll talk to you again next week on This Week in Nicholls Athletics, presented by State Farm Insurance. Today's show has been brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Contact your local State Farm agent today and get to a better state with State Farm Insurance. This has been a presentation of the Colonel Sports Network.